Hmm. It did not notify everyone that it's recording for the first time. Anyway, oh, it did. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it did.
Very strange. I guess it usually notifies myself too, but maybe that's an improvement, a feature, not a bug. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the July 28th, 2021 GitOps Working Group Events Committee weekly meeting. Here is the link for our agenda notes. And looks like I am moderating now. If anyone wants to help take notes, please feel free. And the only topic on the list today is to talk about GitOpsCon. And we've got Emily and Rachel from Linux Foundation, do I say Linux Foundation or just CNCF? I don't know.
Either one. We're both.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. From the KubeCon and Cloud Native Con programming events group to answer any questions that we might have and chat with us about this kind of stuff. Welcome. I have a question right off the bat.
I have several, so go ahead, Scott.
So do you want to go? Do you want to go first?
No, go ahead. I didn't know what the format was going to be for this session, so
yeah.
So go ahead. I'll let you go, and then we'll decide if that's bad.
All right, cool. Sounds good. This one's from Suzanne. She was just saying, would be good to know of any upcoming deadlines for sponsors and any further logistics info that you can share. It's very open-ended.
Okay, I can give you a couple of updates for that. Just for those, I'm checking my notes here so I give you the right dates. I was looking for the day sponsorship sales close, August 5th. So we have just about a week left for sponsorships to come in. As far as deadlines for things that sponsors actually will be needing to provide, that will come from Christy Davis. And everyone should have already received a communication from her, but she is managing all the sponsorship deliverables. And there should be if you haven't gotten it yet, I think you're getting it in the next couple of days, like a portal where you'll have all the deadlines built in.
Right.
And I will just address one question that wasn't a real question, but it was maybe an assumed question. The plan for KubeCon is it will remain hybrid unless the city, state, country, someone else tells us we can't. So.
Okay, so I have, Scott, I don't know if you already had any other questions, but I do have a handful of questions, logistical. Some of them actually have already been answered, but I kind of wanted to get a clarification. First, do we as committee members, or we as, I guess, I think the CNCF has done an amazing job of logistically of just planning everything for us, but in terms of us needing passes, so I get that we have to register for KubeCon, but do we also have to register for this Day Zero event? And will there be a need to differentiate like us as committee members, people who are, the point of contacts, I guess, during the event there, as designating us as, I don't know if there's like an event pass we need to go through, or it's just like an attendee pass is just enough for this.
So good question. I think I've caught a couple of questions in there. One, yes, you do need to register for KubeCon and for the co-located event, GitOpsCon. Unfortunately, there is not a comp pass for that. I will just put it out there that we've got a couple of one-off passes available. If there's someone that can't register, if there's some reason they can't get approval to pay for it, things like that, we do have a couple like kind of on the back burner there. As far as me listing out, like being recognizable on site, I'll have to ask how that's being managed. I don't know if there's anything that can be designated on your badge, but we can certainly put it on the event website and get your names up there. Which, if there's no concerns there, I'm happy to get that request in today to put that up.
Okay, cool. So for me, it was more like logistical, like okay, do I just register and and I don't have to do anything else, or is there like a special thing? So it just sounds like just register.
Yes.
And okay, cool.
Yep.
In terms of, so my next question is actually multi-pronged, so I'll try to ask it in the best way possible.
Okay.
So how, in terms of scheduling, how much control do we have of scheduling? And the reason I ask is because here, us in the committee, we've discussed in the past of having like a panel of, hey, this is who we are kind of talk. And, if we have total control of the event, it's just like, okay, we'll just shove that in somewhere. But if we don't, like, do we need to submit a CFP for that? And do we approve our own CFP? So like, I'm kind of a little confused in terms of like scheduling of how much control we have because of like things like this, right? Like if we wanted to have a panel for our group of like, ask us anything sort of thing.
So good question. Yes, you have complete control over the agenda. The intent with the CFP is that it's open, there's committee approval, committee review involved. As long as it's in this isn't what your approach is, it sounds like, but as long as it's not self-serving for a certain company, a sales pitch type thing, you can absolutely put in a panel that discusses GitOps, the committee, anything like that. We have a call tomorrow with the overall co-located event planning committee. The only question around parameters of the agenda, besides the time frame, which is pretty straightforward, we've got the 9 to 5 time block. We are still we finalized the contract with the virtual platform, but we need to, it's really complicated with the platform. They charge different ways and for different numbers of speakers. So we just need to make sure that we are on the same page with the platform and how it's contracted to make sure there's no parameters we need to be in. But we should have an update for you before the reviews are done.
Are you able to share what the platform is quite yet?
Let me Slack someone. I know what it is. I don't think it's a secret, but yeah, let me just find out really quick.
Thanks. And it'll be the same one for the co-located events and for KubeCon itself.
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone in one place.
Good. Thanks.
I have a question too. That's awesome. Emily, when you said you need to make sure there are no specific parameters we need to be in, I don't know that I totally understood what that means.
It could be something like, just to make sure, do we have to fit everybody into a 30-minute session? Or do we have flexibility to say, hey, we want 5 lightning talks and then an hour-long panel? So just making sure that we can build the agenda between 9 to 5 how we want.
Yeah, makes sense. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, as you're typing that, I do have another question. So one last question. It's an open-ended question, and every time I ask, no one knows just yet, and I understand because of the circumstances. So I'm just wondering if there's any more new information. How is the hybrid event going to work? Because I have there's people pinging me obviously about like, hey, like some of these people are in Europe and they won't be able to make it in. They want to do the the online thing. How's that all going to work in a hybrid event? Like, is it just going to be pre-recorded videos that are on the platform? Is there going to be streaming? How's that going to work generally?
Yeah, I think I have probably more information than you've heard maybe since the last call or something. But if someone is presenting and they're not going to be there in person, we will require that they pre-record. So that pre-recorded session will play in the platform and live in person. The recording will play for the folks live at the same time. So if there's any conversations outside or on Twitter, Slack that people are having, it will be relevant and timely at that time. Same thing goes for a panel. If there's a panel that has live and pre-recorded, or live and virtual participants, will do the same. So the virtual person will need to pre-record their piece. So if they may or may not be part of the discussion, if there is any like questions afterwards, that would be up to the panel, the in-person folks to manage. Does that answer the general?
Yeah, generally, yeah. Okay. So that makes sense. At least it's clearer now, at least for me.
Okay.
And since everything's being pre-recorded or streamed, if you will playbacks be available on all sessions this year, or not at all, or how will that work?
I have to ask that. Okay. Were they not all available last year or for Europe?
I didn't think so, but maybe I'm making that assumption.
Do you mean immediate playback or posted on YouTube post-event?
But like immediately following the live session, whatever that was, right? The premiere time, if you want.
I will have to confirm that
Okay.
because it does have to do with the platform, and I think if I think this is how we did it last year. It's the pre-recorded sessions were available immediately. The Q&A piece at the end took more time for it to be looped together, synced, and then reposted.
Okay.
But I can announce the platform. It's Meeting Play. So that's what we used for KubeCon Europe, same platform. And hopefully that helps with everyone, one less new platform to learn.
Awesome, thanks.
Cool.
Sure.
What's it called again? The platform?
Meeting Play.
Okay.
And then others.
Let's see,
on
did you already give an update on how many talk submissions there were? I'm sorry, I was late.
Not yet.
Yeah, you wanna maybe speak to that for a moment?
Yeah. Give me just a moment.
And just for anybody else that's here, we had a few people that were still trying to submit talks. And so what we did, and I think Scott shared this over email and in Slack, is we basically have a link that's open that people can still submit to, even though we're past the deadline. Just because we know that several people were like we're having conversations with end users and stuff. I was talking to several people. So I think that's going to be open for like this next, week or two. So if you have anybody that you're already in conversation with, or somebody you really wanted to get in to submit a talk, you can send them that link, even though the CFP is technically closed. So
just through midnight tonight, isn't that correct?
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
Oh, just till tonight.
They'll still close. Yeah, because we still have to get the reviews done. So we are
Okay.
at 46 submissions. So it is
Seems
poking
pretty
up.
healthy.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Do you
enough
have
for a 9 to 5. Cool.
Should be good.
Do you have you like the list of like companies that have submitted?
Who asked that?
As
Sorry.
of the 26th, right? I think in the email that you sent, Emily.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So as of 2 days ago, we have it. I think you're on that one, Dan. And we can share that within the events committee, the program committee.
So then, yeah, we will send the final list tomorrow morning. once we get online, and that's when we can start the reviews. Rachel will be sending that out, and it'll be formatted where everyone can add in their own comments, their own scores, and then we will tally the scores and come up with kind of the top level sessions, and then we'll do the review all together on a call the week of August 12th. Is August 12th the date?
August 11th.
11th. Okay, thanks.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the list, and we've got some good end users in here. We've got Chick-fil-A, we've got Intuit, we've got Wayfair, we've got Cisco, Intel. So I'm pretty happy with the group in here. CERN is in here. That's cool.
There are others that there's a panel that included a number of end users as well. And one of them that's not on that list is Starbucks, who they do plan to participate as well, but I hadn't had confirmation until today.
Yeah. I mean, I can also put it out there that you all do get the final say on the schedule. Again, we have to be fair, making sure it's been completely open system. If someone comes in after the fact, you could add them, or if there's someone that reaches out to you, I would just be prepared that if anyone were to ask, it was available to anyone that said, yes, they submitted afterwards, but we really felt it was of value because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
Yep. Understood. And just to be also, just so that we're fairly clear, I know this is recorded, but I don't believe it has wide viewership and it will only be after the fact. But I think we should not, I know it's the last day, but just to be clear, we should not be publicizing this widely. Correct? It's just distributed.
Correct.
For one-off communications and other folks that we're in contact with, or folks that do reach out to us.
That's
so
right.
Right, so that we're still doing it fairly, and somehow this group isn't getting special treatment by
Right.
or anything like that amongst any of the other groups. It's just that this is something you always do, which is to try to work with people at the end based on the submissions. Right? Okay.
Yep.
I just realized 46. I better clear my calendar to review those CFPs.
Please. A lot. That's great. Good submission. I will just also add in there is a rule that someone cannot, if they, oh shoot, I want to make sure I say this correctly. Rachel, if you have the language somewhere quickly, let me know, but it was, if we have an internal team that will be vetting the submissions to make sure it's not someone that is also presenting at KubeCon, or is it that was declined? That's what I need to confirm. But just want to let you know that that's being done internally. So if there's any
Like if
concerns that
somebody's
we have-
already submitting at KubeCon, they are barred from submitting to the day zero event.
It's
no, not if they submit. They can submit to both.
we just have someone on our team, they're deduping to make sure that we don't have a presentation at GitOpsCon that's also at
okay.
KubeCon. So we just want to make sure that they didn't submit the same presentation for KubeCon and GitOpsCon, and they're going to be duplicated.
If they submitted the talk into two places and they were accepted in one, are they automatically then rejected in the other? Or you're just told you're not allowed to submit it twice?
No, because I don't think those have gone out yet. The main KubeCon, I think they go out this coming Monday. So they could submit to both, but that's why we have the process afterwards that will dedupe to make sure they're not presenting the same thing twice.
Got it. Okay.
Makes sense. And I'm one of those, well, myself and Samtochi are one of those people that submitted the same one to both, just in case. But hey, we have until midnight tonight to, if that is new information for anyone, we have until midnight tonight to submit a new proposal. That's not.
Oh, Scott, you're a violator. You're a violator.
I am. Well, what's funny is our CFP page essentially is inviting folks to do that. So I think we're within the law. Just know that we can't do it twice, right?
Correct. You cannot present the same session twice.
Right. Yeah.
which seems fair, right?
Yeah. Cool. Let's see, any other questions people have? Sounds like no.
Yeah, no, I think I got all my questions answered.
I do have one more question. I think I know the answer to this, but just we received info from both Emily and Rachel, both of you, about the program committee and how that's going to work, which all looks great. Last year, because we were in a self-hosted, well, I'm not sure what you call it, but we're not as integrated with this. The co-located event was integrated in a different way, right?
The CNCF was not running it.
Right. Thank you.
Gotcha.
Boom. Boom. Not hosted or not running by CNCF, right? Ran. Oh my God. Anyway, we had a method that we used that was recommended by a few folks on the program committee that had been used for other past events that allowed us to have a fair and balanced approach. And we essentially put that in a spreadsheet and added some metrics and all of this to help, make sure that the voting and the scores were all, really rose the correct proposals to the top. And any that were unclear, or when there was we made sure that this was interesting. We made sure that there was ample discussion for any proposal that had a wild divergence or a big divergence in scores. So if everyone more or less was around the same page in their scores, we just kind of let them fall where they fell. But if there was a divergence, we had the spreadsheet to highlight those, and we discussed them at that point. That was after we did our scoring. Is there something that CNCF does like that, or is that just something that we can feel free to do as the program committee once you get back with the numbers?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I mean, you certainly have the flexibility to do that. There is no formula where that's actually set in, but what we typically do is once we get all the scores, we'll then add another column that has the average score. And then we just rate them like 5 down to 1. So if anything got a 4 or a 5, it's put in the initial category of accepted. 3s are, we should absolutely discuss. 2s and 1s are put into the assumed rejected. But the point of that call is for just what you said. Chat through each one really quickly. Like this one, first one, it got a 5. Everyone agree? If someone disagrees, then they kind of speak up. And as you get down to the 3s and 2s and 1s, that's where you really start to have the discussions, because someone could come in and say, I think we should go back to them and have them and ask them about this, because I think they have a really great presentation, but I don't think they submitted what they actually meant to say. Maybe they wrote their CFP poorly. Or someone could be a 4 and someone could chime in and say, I've seen this person present before and it's going to be a sales pitch. So those are the kind of conversations that can be had when we review everything. So there's definitely a time for discussion for them all.
Thank you. That definitely answers my question.
Good. Good.
So it sounds like, unless anyone has a burning one in their mind, cue Jeopardy music. I think we're done with that Q&A side of things. Thank you two very much. I don't know if you want your time back, or if you want to just if you're also welcome to hang out for the rest of this events meeting. But I just want to be respectful either way.
Thanks. I'll stay on, but I'll turn my camera off. I'll kind of listen if anything comes up for me.
Okay, awesome, nice.
Thanks.
Yeah, I do that too. I use the time for me time so I can catch up on emails.
Exactly. Online banking, smoothies. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we didn't write any other topics down, but we generally do have I have one general category of topic that we've been discussing.
Yeah,
in the
I have
committee.
I have one as well. It's just I'm remote. I couldn't write it down.
Oh yeah,
but-
do you want to just tell it to us and we'll add them?
Yeah, so I mentioned it earlier with the Q&A, but I do think I know we discussed having like a panel about the working group, about like, hey, this is kind of like this is us, right? And ask us anything, or kind of a thing about that. And I think I don't want to shove it in here. I mean, we can talk about it whenever, but I do think we need to start talking about if we want to do that and how that's going to look like.
I concur. I like the idea of having a panel and people can ask questions, and I don't think it has to be crazy long. I think it can be like a 30 or 40-minute session that we do. And we have, I think, 3 keynotes. Is that right? Yeah, because of the diamond sponsors, we have 3 diamond sponsors. Each one gets a keynote. So we've got 3 keynotes right off the bat. We've got a couple of really good end user talks. So I actually think didn't somebody submit Scott in the talks for there was a panel discussion posted for end users.
Correct.
Yeah, for end users.
We could also do one for GitOps working group committee, open GitOps people. I like
like with the chairs or whoever, right? Like I think get like the minds together and just start talking about like the why, right? Like why are we doing this, as opposed to the what as well. So
we have.
I think go ahead, Scott.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dan. Did you want to continue? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, we had that plan last year and essentially executed that fairly well. We tried to do it because it was a strange event in the sense that it was online only, and everyone was trying to figure out what to do and how to make these events both, I don't know, something that anyone would want to tune into when they have like a maybe 30-second attention span to be pulled into anything else. So we tried to make it a bit entertaining. So we did get into some of that, but I think we can still do that. We can still make it fun and interesting. I mean, even if people are a captive audience of sorts, but it's really the state of the GitOps working group, the state of the Open GitOps project. Well, I'm saying state because we're thinking of GitOps now, but state of the union, right? But essentially, like, what is the status of these things? And we can announce certain things. Of course, we can do that ahead of time, like, for example, the website, different other important items that folks should know. The version of the principles, which hopefully we are at a full release by then. I seriously hope so. We'll talk about that on the next meeting, the next call. But I thought I had something to wrap that up with, but that's what I was thinking. Yeah, we would essentially get up there and do that. And Dan and I had talked about, or in the last events meeting, we had talked about, I had volunteered again to co-host, but I suggested Dan being a co-host this time, since that was we had done it differently last time.
Yeah.
Seemed like everybody was on board for that. But we could wrap that in and then basically transition to either like have all the maintainers up or something like that.
Yeah, and the maintainers, I think the official list, it would be like Yumi, Jesse from AWS, Christian from Red Hat, the Chris's from GitHub and Microsoft. Just like trying to remember everybody off the top of my head. So there's like, I don't know, 6 or 7 people that are there.
Exactly.
I think for now, like, Christian, I think let's just pencil it in that this is something we should consider. Because when we get down to the talks, if it's like, oh, should we do this talk or should we have Chick-fil-A talk about their thing? It's like, maybe Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. And always on Sundays too. If if it comes down to it, I think end user stories should take precedence, definitely.
And that's what we did last year, right? That's why we didn't end up doing a longer panel We folded it into the intro essentially because we had so much good content, right?
Yeah, but the end user panel, I would say for me is a high priority. Like an end user panel, like, dude, I would love hosting an end user panel. Like I would have so much fun with that, just pulling out lots of different ideas from those people. And I think people would love to see like these big name companies and what they're doing and hearing that they're getting this on hands on. I think it brings a lot of legitimacy to GitOps, and you can have kind of some divergent opinions and some, I think that one I'm really, really excited about. I think doing a Q&A with the maintainers would be cool if we have time for it. So let's pencil it in. And when we get into the schedule, we can do some horse trading and see how we feel about it.
Exactly. And so Cornelia is slated as the moderator for that. But you know how we were doing the co-hosting last year where, we would kind of trade back and forth. Dan, I think it makes sense for you to be the host portion for that panel.
For the customer one, end user one?
For that end user panel, especially since you just expressed like a lot of enthusiasm. I mean, I think it's cool too, but I'd say go for it, man. And secondly, because Cornelia from Weaveworks, like I am, is moderating that panel. So I think it would be good to round that out and not have like me also hosting that.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, cool. I added an item to talk about after party. Can I go to that? Who wants to have an after party? I don't know.
You come after party at my house? I guess you guys.
After party at my house, yeah. For this, I don't think this is an official sponsorship opportunity through the CNCF. This is just something we can just put on if we want, and we'll see if Emily and Rachel pipe up and they're like, no, if you throw a party, you have to give us the money. But I think that the schedule is slated to end. I can't remember what time, but there's definitely time in the evening if we wanted to do something. And that's an opportunity for somebody like, I don't know if CodeFresh would be willing to go like man that thing, but if we wanted to do one, like we've done these for Helm Summit, we've done them in other ones, and it's like, hey, you throw out like those thick coasters, you throw out like branded coasters and some balloons and whatever, and then it's just a chance for people to talk, because the most valuable part of any conference for me is always the hallway track. It's always like talking to people and meeting people. That's always what I get the most out of. So I like the idea of us throwing a party and maybe doing it that night. But I also think we probably on the CodeFresh side have our hands full with the Argo Contributor Summit that we're doing and the rest of KubeCon. So I don't know that we'd be able to like do much heavy lifting, but we might be able to contribute like some cash if we need to or whatever.
That would be great. I can say that on the Weaveworks side, there's already some discussion about that too, from the developer experience team anyway. So Tomo, who has been part of the events committee, or was part of this events committee last year, is very interested in helping with that. So I'll loop her in. We can start a conversation between all of us.
Yeah, so I'm all for it, and I am happy to help. In terms of, I mean, just like logistics and all that stuff here. And I don't know. See, Dan, I don't know if it'd be definitely nice if we can get someone to sponsor or co-sponsor or, I already went to the well a few times. I don't know if I can do it again. Aubrey would know how many times I've gone to the well so far. So it would be nice if we get it sponsored, right? Like if someone wants to, I don't know how we would publicize that, but it would be nice if we are going to throw a party, if we get like some sort of sponsorship with it.
I think CodeFresh might be able to throw. Oh,
sorry. Yeah, quick point of order. Emily had her hand raised, so she's next.
Sorry, I'm back. Yeah, so just on the can you host a reception or anything like that? What am I trying to say? you can have a reception. It cannot be formally attached to this event. Like we can't put it on the agenda, things like that. But if there's just something, I know there are other groups that are kind of just talking about their own thing off to the side. So yeah, it just couldn't go through CNCF. That's really the biggest piece. And one other little point, I'll apologize later if I'm overstepping here, but there is a discussion of a CNCF co-located group reception. So all of the CNCF co-located events will have one mass reception right after, but that budget is still being looked at. So just know that there is that chance. I wouldn't want someone to sign a contract with some sort of a venue or anything and not know that.
So is that decided?
No, it will not be decided until after August 5th.
Okay.
And if we can't promote through CNCF, does that mean we can't even talk about it, mention a happy hour on?
No, I
main
think you
stage?
can. It just can't be like on the official agenda.
Okay.
Right, like
I'm working with another group, same situation, and they will they'll announce it from the stage and they'll do their own promotion outside, but it won't ever come from CNCF or be on Sketch or be promoted through any CNCF emails.
Okay.
Dan, is your hand up for a different reason, or was that what you wanted to respond to?
No, so I was gonna add to what Christian was saying. I think CodeFresh can pony up some cash because sponsoring a party, usually I don't think they cost crazy amounts of money. I think if we could, but the thing that we don't have is we don't have any more head count to say, hey, go plan this thing. So that's what we're missing, but we could probably pony up a little cash, like a couple $1,000. We did a really cool one at KubeCon Seattle that was at it was like a barcade. There was like a really big barcade by the venue. And we put out like everybody got like a bunch of free passes to go use the arcade. And then we just had like drinks and stuff served. And I think in total, we probably spent like, it was like $6,000 or something. Like it wasn't that much. And then we split that between 2 people. And people loved it. So, but
Yeah, I don't think.
We can't plan it, but we might be able to pony up cash.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything like extravagant. Yeah, I think something as simple as that I think should be enough, right? It's mainly like Dan, like the way you said, it's mainly like the networking, right? It doesn't. We don't have to have we don't have to like put up a concert or anything, right? We just have to have like an open space, maybe serving some food or drinks right at their people can drink and eat at their leisure. So yeah, I would help in terms of headcount. It's just I can't obviously can't do it alone, right? So like if we get some other people helping out, I'll definitely throw my hat in to help out with that.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to put a call out onto the Slack channel or something, because it sounds like nobody is able to take it and own it, but there are people that are willing to help.
I just don't want to say we can yet, but I believe that it's, well, we'll see. I'll double check with Tomo. There's been some discussion about it. There's also a potential venue, a potential friend of a friend or something like this that owns a venue there that we may be able to work with. We wanted to wait until this events meeting and to talk with CNCF about this. So I think check and check. So now I'll connect with Tomo again and see where we stand, and it might be the case, but I don't want to promise that until after I speak with her again.
I guess we could always even bring it way down to just like, we're all going to that place. You're on your own, but that's where we're all going to go get drinks afterwards. And it's not sponsored. You have to pay for your own drinks, but you're all going to expense it anyway. So why do you care? And, drinks on none.
Right. I mean, it's pretty much like, how Daniel, AKA DJ Desired State, often spins at these kinds of events. So he's very, very possibly going to be able to do that again and things like that. We could, anyway, we can definitely make it a little bit more than we just needed a bar, but I guess we'll see what's between that and some giant shindig. So. Cool. Do we want to cover, often on these calls, we've discussed the website as an agenda item. Probably because it's the most visible, aside from CNCF promotion, it's the most centralized way for the GitOps working group and Open GitOps to communicate to people and put everything in one place. Should we chat about that for a few minutes? Unless there was any, okay. Cool. If we need to circle back on any of the other stuff, we can, but all right. Just a few quick things. There are a few pull requests. I know they just got in there, so no one's remiss. And I think there's a few reviews of them so far.
Scott, you opened like 6 PRs in an hour.
I know.
Out of control.
I know, but you know, it's just because I was trying to, I had like a mental block around something else. So I just, plus it just seems like, it seemed like it would be helpful for us. So I thought, what the hell, why not? I think the biggest one, Dan, is this issue or this poll, the, oh, sorry. Send the link. Not the biggest issue. It's actually not the most important thing. It's just the one on which all the other PRs rely. There's that build break. It was just one missed file name. You know, it's kind of like really in the weeds here. But once that's in, the other PRs all cherry pick that commit. Otherwise, I couldn't build a preview. So.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a simple. It's just that one's like an easy. The other one I want to be clear on, and we'll connect. Sorry about this. I thought this was still in draft. Well, in any case, the prep website for principles version 2.0 or 0.2.0. Oh, maybe I just never opened that in draft mode. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, that one can't be merged until after we merge that other PR and cut the tag. Like we probably will today in the principles committee meeting. I'm guessing, at least it feels that way to me. I don't know. We'll see. So that just really is just drawing one from that PR as it is. The others are just fixing links and fixing charter links. One other thing is there was a thought I had done this. Oh, specifying the principles version. I want to know what folks thought about this and how it looks. Here is the PR. That was my kind of dumb attempt to do that without kind of rewriting all of the styles and stuff. It's basically, it has the same line height as, see the little V1 0.1.0, it's a link to that release.
Oh, is that's all that's added is the version right there?
That is all that's added. And it on different screen sizes, it appears to look fine. It's just that it's not like immediately below the GitOps principles. It's basically on the same line height away from it as they are from each other. I'm not really a pixel pusher in this phase of my life, I guess. So if anybody has thoughts on that, or if you would rather be different.
No, that looks good to me. I'm gonna add a review right now, and if Christian or Leonardo, if you guys want to give a thumbs up, I'll merge it right now.
Cool.
I just did.
Yay.
Okay,
All right,
merging
great.
them.
I think that's good because that at least clarifies to people what version we're looking at, and it lets them know that these are versioned and to keep an eye out for for upcoming versions. And then that other pull request. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh man, you all are so on it. All done. Okay, I guess I don't have much more to say then, except for just we're on hold for that one for the next version, and I guess we'll wait till we get that in.
Okay, great. And then this flank source one, can we talk about that for a sec?
Yeah, did you see my comment?
Yeah. So what I'm kind of confused about is it appears like he's putting himself into the founding members. Is that what I'm seeing in this?
I think it was a mistake.
No, I don't think, I looked at it and I don't think it was in the founding members, unless I was looking the wrong thing. I think it was, it is, okay.
It is just because of the way it's set up. I was thinking it's a mistake and that most likely wasn't able to actually preview the changes because of that block, that build error. That's my guess. Because it's true that it does show up under a list of members, but then on the front page it says founding members, and that would not be accurate. So I think what we said last time is that we would revisit this and really try to find a good solution for people who are involved in the GitOps working group to really list themselves. And I think we kind of stopped once we got to the point where we said, well, we have an interested parties document. And I think then someone had said, well, we really need to ask people before we had their logos. And I think we just kind of said, oh, Jesus, that's going to be a lot of work and we didn't do it yet. That's my recollection. But okay, that's all I have to say. I pass Leonardo or Leo.
Just a quick comment that I saw some email or something from Moshe saying that he suggested the idea of founding members being replaced with just members and then adding kind of like what was it, like some other two categories of kind of like participants or something. I can't exactly recall where I saw that, but just as additional context, there is, or he's interested in proposing those changes.
Cool. Yeah. Do you mind if you have a link to that? Do you mind linking that to that PR?
Let me find it because I don't know where I saw that. I don't know if it was an email that I saw. But
It's on the it's on the discussion that you linked to, Scott, and I think it's associate and advisor or something like that. And I put in what I thought about that as well there. Yeah.
Sorry. Thanks for chiming in on that, but do you mind going after Dan because he had his hand raised? I just wanted to be fair about it.
Okay. Yeah, so this might be contentious because we're talking about like how to represent continued, contributions and things like that. And what I would maybe propose is that we actually have two separate discussions. One is like this person that submitted this PR, I'm happy to just put them on the member companies list right now, right? So if we look at their PR and we just remove the one change to the features file, it's done. Then it'd be on the member companies thing. And so I'd like to get people just into there. Now, as for the founding members, what I think I would like to see in the long term, and if you look at Argo's website, for example, we have a created by Intuit, and then we have a maintained by these companies. And what we created there is a couple of distinctions. One of the distinctions was that you may be a member of a company and you may be contributing to this is appreciated. There are many people from many different companies contribute to Argo. But some companies have said, we're making a strategic decision to invest in this project. We're going to allocate multiple resources, multiple engineers. We're going to support marketing, all these other things. And so what that section on the Argo website represents is like official corporate maintainers. And so like, if you're from a small company and you contribute and you're contributing, we're stoked, we're excited. You're part of it and we want to recognize that. But it's also like, you know, if a company is going to say, we're going to dedicate several engineers and all this time into all these other things, we're going to do it in an official capacity, and we're making a commitment that we're going to give maintenance over this long period of time, then that kind of has like a special, you know, recognition. So I think I'd like us to go to that at some point. Maybe we have like a founding members section and a maintained by section, because I think about like GitHub, frankly, like, you know, they're not doing a ton of work on the project. You know, Chris from GitHub and Chris from Azure, they're helping out, they're doing stuff, but there are lots of people that are more proactive in the project. But right now, I really appreciate having GitHub and Azure up there, especially because they give a lot of credence and authority to the project, and they are giving thumbs up, they are giving approvals, so they are involved. I'm not trying to downplay their involvement, but you know, there are a lot of people that show up in these meetings every week, right, and are doing, you know, more day-to-day stuff. So anyway, I would separate it, two separate things. I would say, let's get people onto the members board as fast as we can, and then let's come up with a new way to maybe separate like current maintainers and founders, because it is special that their participation is special, and I want to keep it recognized.
Yeah, I just linked to this discussion, and the wording there was what was it? Advocates and adopters, but I think it's just important to, you know, break down some of these. I think that it's perfectly fine to have this like founding companies, because there was a lot of people from these companies that came together and started the whole thing. But I agree with Moshe that, you know, it's kind of just recognizing them is kind of bad for the people that came in after the fact. You know, me, for instance, wasn't aware until later on, so I had no way of being a part of that. And if we could just for now say that we'll add people to the members and not have them featured, that would be kind of like a first step. But I think having different categories, like having some sort of end user thing where people that do a lot of project with GitOps in mind can put themselves on, just, you know, show their support, and having you know, some companies that kind of float to the top because of their involvement. I know for a fact that, you know, the Crayon, which I work at, will be doing a lot with GitOps, and getting that kind of recognition would also, you know, and it help me convince other people to, you know, back things up a little bit and get on board with this project in particular. So just having that would automatically, you know, have a lot of people go, hey, thumbs up, cool, all right, let's do stuff with this. And all of a sudden there's more talk about GitOps that way. So the faster I can have that going, the better for me. So having that kind of figuring out how to distinguish between I would say end users and people. I kind of agree with Moshe there, that having advocates and, you know, people that are using and people that are contributing somehow in some way would be great.
Great. That sounds really good. So we have it sounds like we have one, we know what we want to do. We definitely want to rate. We have a charter, and that's to be an open, first of all, the working group is an open group, and Open GitOps is an open participation project. So there is no intent of gating at all. There is an intent of making sure that anyone participating in the project as an open source project like normal follows the CNCF code of conduct, you know, like, you know, that there is a healthy working relationship and things like that. What one issue, we have the one, okay, Leo, see you soon. One issue that we have that tracks, like, what is the how does one participate in the GitOps working group? We had several roles in mind. And so far we've already done some of those, and the comments in that linked issue do actually show that we've created committees, and that we've been, you know, here's how you can get involved in them, and so on. And we've made the meetings very, very, very public and very known, and very friendly to join. And there's been no bars. At at the same time that we want to list, companies like Crayon and organizations of whatever kind, right, whose members are participate in these meetings and in the GitOps working group in some capacity. We also want to make sure that we have some sort of criteria, so we don't just leave. It's not a gate as much as it is, we don't want to just I don't know, what if, I'm not going to mention any company by name because maybe there's, I don't want even an example to stigmatize anyone, but let's say XYZ company, right, who has nothing to do with what we're with this. They say they're doing GitOps because they keep their code in GitHub or something else, and they do CI. They don't really necessarily follow the foundational principles of GitOps. They're not really involved in anything, but yet someone thought, oh, this would be a great idea to have us more visible and listed on this page. We need some sort of way to make sure that doesn't happen. That's all. So I think as long as we do have a governance doc in place, so as long as we actually follow that, I think we can use common sense and make sure that we just, that the people who are the deciders for that just talk out each one, and we can do it by pull request. That's my suggestion anyway. Christian.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement, right? I think we're all kind of saying the same thing in different ways. I think it is valuable to have the members who are contributing a lot be up there. Also, having an open membership, having people who are involved and also having people who adhere, should also be mentioned. It's just we need to figure out how that looks like. I think that's my point. It's like we need to. I saw that issue, Scott, that you have. Is like, what does quote unquote membership even mean? We need to define that. We don't know. We recognize it's important. For I think for a lot of what Dan said, I think I agree with a lot of what Dan said. For the reasons why what Dan said it, but that aside. We just need to figure out what that looks like, right? So we definitely see that need. We just need to figure out we need to figure out the what, right? We know the why, but now we need to figure out how it looks like. So that's all.
Exactly. So we have 1 minute left. For anyone who feels like saving the chat, I just linked directly to the interested parties document inside of the GitHub working group repo. That came directly from the interested parties section of the original GitOps working group charter Google Doc. That's now actually in Git, but one thing we could do is just reach out to these people and say, hey, any objection to putting your company logo on here, and let them resolve that internally. We could just make separate PRs for them and leave them open until the person approves it, and then we say, cool, merge, done, something like that. Anyway, that's my suggestion. I know we got to get onto the principals meeting. I will open it, and I will wait a few minutes in case anyone here needs to take a break in between. I'm okay. So I'll see you there.
Okay, see you there. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. This was awesome.
Cheers, everyone. Thanks.
Thanks, Christian.